It ain't easy being cheesy. You know what time it is. It's your boy Hammer Vong, and today we're making mac and cheese. For today's recipe, we're using the other blue box. Now this one has nice grooves in the macaroni, and it's great for this recipe. For our cheese sauce, we're going to use 2 pounds of cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese. We're going to make a roux for this recipe, so we'll need 2 tablespoons of salted butter. We'll need 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We'll need 2 cups of milk for our cheese sauce. To season our mac and cheese, we're going to use a tablespoon and a half of creole seasoning. To add extra flavor, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon to our pasta water. Now this part's completely optional, but if you don't have chicken bouillon, you can always add salt to your pasta water. I feel the macaroni is a blank canvas, so adding any extra flavors to it is going to really make a difference. Add in the whole box of macaroni pasta. So I'm following the directions on the box. It says cook the noodles for 7 to 8 minutes or until al dente. So while the macaroni's cooking, we can start working on our cheese sauce. To make our cheese sauce, we're gonna have to make a roux. A roux is basically the thickening agent for any sauce or stew. It's always equal part fat and equal part flour. The fat we're using today is butter, and we just added 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that bad boy melt. Now if you had some bacon fat for this recipe, woo, it'd be hella bomb. Add in your flour and start mixing. This would be the same step if you were to make a gravy. Like any sauce or gravy, we don't want it lumpy, so it's important that we keep things moving. It's also important to know that I'm cooking this roux on medium heat. So we're basically trying to cook out the raw flour taste of this roux, but while at it, we're gonna add some salt and pepper. You should be creating some beautiful aromas in the kitchen right now. So what you should be smelling is some nuttiness, a little popcorn aroma. This is how you know your roux is almost ready, and then we can start adding our liquid. Add in your milk slowly and start stirring. Again, same process as if we were doing the flour. We want to make sure everything's moving and we don't have a lumpy cheese sauce. Once we start mixing everything together, you can start adding your shredded cheese. So again, I'm using 2 pounds of cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack cheese. Now this recipe isn't limited to those, but you can add whatever cheese you want. If you want to get fancy, you can add some Havarti, some Gruyere, maybe a little Gouda, because Gouda makes everything better. So our cheese sauce is starting to thicken up, but if it gets too thick, you can always add more milk and just thin it out. So our cheese sauce is almost ready, but we also want to add more seasoning to it. So I'm adding 1 tablespoon of our creole seasoning. This seasoning is going to add that extra punch, that little zing to our recipe, and people are going to taste it and go, woo, ooh, it got a little kick to it, right? So we still have a lot of cheese left, so we're just going to add it and allow this bad boy to melt. Make sure to save some of that shredded cheese. Once we combine that cheese sauce and our cooked macaroni, we're actually going to top it off with some more shredded cheese. If you have a fancy casserole dish, go ahead and bring it out. Go ahead and butter the sides of the pan so the macaroni doesn't get sticky icky. Add your macaroni into the pan and enjoy your free facial. Before adding our cheese sauce, we're going to season our macaroni with some more creole seasoning. We added seasoning in our pasta water, we added seasoning into our pasta, and we also added seasoning to our cheese sauce. So if anybody says this is bland, oh, they tripping. Now to bring everything together, we gotta add that cheese sauce. So make sure we get every last drop of that cheese sauce, because this mac and cheese is gonna be bomb. So this mac and cheese is gonna be nice and creamy, really incorporate and mix that cheese into that macaroni. Once we mix everything in, we're gonna add some more shredded cheese to the top layer of our macaroni. Now if you love cheese, don't be shy with it, add more. So I have the broiler set on high in the oven. For the best results, you want to keep your mac and cheese on that top rack of the oven. That way it browns evenly. Make sure to keep an eye on how the cheese is melting, and once it's ready, this is what you get. Now this can be a side dish or it could be the main entree. Totally up to you. I'm adding some freshly ground black pepper to bring out the flavor of the cheese. Ladies and gents, I present to you my creamy mac and cheese. I hope you get to try out this recipe. Now don't forget to hammer that like button, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Welcome very much, and I'll see you again next time. Heck yeah. Mac and cheese, baby.